Yay! Hopefully
we are live.
Well, we're going live. Wait for it. I think when it says, there we go. Okay,
we're live.
Setting up your webinar. All right, guys.
Hi, everyone.
How are you doing? Welcome to the Tangent Show number 33.
33.
I like 33. That's like a nice number. That used to be like that's kind of one of my lucky numbers in roulette.
Oh yeah. 33.
Yeah. You know what sucks is when you age out of roulette. Like once I passed 36, well, I mean, like I'm still 21, obviously. But like once you pass 36, you're like, oh, I can't play any numbers anymore. So it's just other zeros and double zeros. Hey guys, I hope you are doing super well. Hi Barbara, I hope you're well. We have a jam-packed show today. Oh my gosh, there's so many things to talk about. Yeah, we weren't here last week. We were doing Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We're really bad at Thanksgiving though.
Kind of doing Thanksgiving.
We kind of did. Well, I'm British, so it's all new to me anyway. I'm just kind of like following along.
Yeah, and my family, I think they've pretty much given up. I mean, they kind of had a little bit of a Thanksgiving meal, but they didn't bother with the whole turkey this time.
And your brothers are kind of like indigenous rights.
Yeah.
So it's like
one of my brothers, he if it was his choice, we wouldn't celebrate it.
So it's all very fun. So I don't know. We skipped Thanksgiving, then we had Thanksgiving on Friday.
Yeah.
Because yeah. Oh, hey, Don's back from Singapore.
Oh, awesome.
I'm really impressed, Don. You make it here from Singapore every week, which is like amazing. Wednesday morning there. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Sue. Hi, family fun stuff. I hope you're all doing really well. So, oh my gosh, we rounded up Lowvember.
Oh, yes.
That was a lot of fun. We did. So if you missed it, if you're not in our KDP group, and you should be in our KDP group because, oh my gosh, guys, it is crazy in there. If you missed it in our KDP group this last month for Lowvember, we had Lowvember. Hashtag Lowvember. That was catchy. That was good. I like the Lowvember thing. And what we did is each day of November, we put out a template. And we had all kinds of like niche-y templates. So our focus was really on having kind of niche templates. So we did things like anxiety management, vision boards, soccer coaching. We had a joke notebook, and I actually made a video explaining my method for writing jokes. My jokes are terrible, but it works for other people, so it's all good. Some of my jokes are all right. But anyway, so yeah, we had an astronomy report, we had workouts, we had a business napkin, we had auras, like we had all kinds of interesting templates. And a lot of you said, are the templates going to be available after November? Yes, absolutely, of course. Yes. So you can still get access. If you've got Tangent templates, you have all the Lowvember templates, all 30 of them, and all the other templates. And here's the thing with our templates, they are available in all of the trim sizes that KDP gives you. That's 16 trim sizes. We give you high quality design. So we made all of these. I kind of come up with the idea, and then you make them super neat and tidy and make them look beautiful. So we keep them super high quality. Oh, and also we give you the Illustrator and InDesign files for them. So you can actually go and customize them and use them in your own books.
Yes, we make it easy, and we encourage you and make it easy.
We want people to use them in their own books. So what we're going to do, we had a huge contest. So a lot of you entered our contest, which was to create books using the Lowvember templates, and literally hundreds of you did. Here's
I was surprised.
The mug full of how many of you. It's a big list. So we're going to call a winner out at the end of the show, and the winner is going to win our everything bundle, which includes Create, Cultivate, Curate, T-shirt Revolutionaries. I've forgotten all the others. Selling as Sexual Wellness, coloring books.
KDP Halloween.
The Halloween course. Oh my gosh, yeah, the Halloween course. That was pretty cool. So it includes a whole bunch of different courses and Tangent research and a $100 Amazon gift card. So we're going to be calling the winner up at the end of the show. We're going to be picking them out of the mug. And that person will win this huge bundle of goodies that is worth well over $500, which is pretty exciting. Actually, it's worth more than that. I always say like, just because we kind of bundle them together, but each course is about $200. Oh, the other thing before I get on with all the news and chat, the other thing I wanted to talk about is Oh, I just forgot already. Oh wait, oh no, I didn't forget. Oh yeah, I went crazy for Cyber Monday. Like crazy.
Yes, you did.
You disapprove, Isaac.
Yeah.
I got away with something, guys. So we said, we're not going to do any cheesy Black Friday deals.
Yeah, we agreed on this. We said no Black Friday deals. I mean, it's ubiquitous everywhere. I was just like, we don't need it. Let's not do it. And let the people worry about their personal Christmas.
Right. So we said that, but you didn't say anything about Cyber Monday.
No.
So we had a Cyber Monday deal. And guys, what I decided to do, because a lot of you didn't see it on Facebook and were saying, Catherine, I can't see it. We are extending it till midnight tonight, and that's California time. So pretty much, unless you're in like Hawaii, you if you sign up before midnight, you should be okay. And what we're doing is we're doing our Cultivate class for $57, which is absolutely I kind of went crazy. So let me just show you that quickly, actually. So if I hop back over to here, so we're giving away our Cultivate course for $57. It's usually $197. So this is like a 75% discount. I can do math. Whoa. Cultivate, if you don't know what Cultivate is, it is our marketing course. It is huge. It is absolutely huge. It has about 20 hours. It's got 20 lessons, and each one's approximately an hour. Some are a little shorter, some are a little longer. But each lesson is approximately an hour. And these are on topics like curating your product range. So this is perfect if you are creating a new business, or you're brainstorming a new venture for 2020, or you just want to grow what you're already doing. So we talk about your product range, whether you're doing digital or physical products, or whether you're providing services. We talk about branding. I tell you my 3 V's of branding and how that works: your values, your voice, your visuals. We talk about building a community, how I've grown Facebook groups and used those in my business. And I'm very kind of, I don't know, I give a lot of information about how we've built communities. So we've got like
a little bit of behind the scenes.
A little bit of behind the scenes there, yeah. We talk about creating challenges for your communities, creating a signature program, building a membership site. Like, this is just huge. Gamification is a really cool class. Yeah, guys, I love talking gamification. It's one of my because I think that game mechanics are everywhere, especially in marketing, especially in selling and creating products. People engage. Like, gamification just means like engaging your audience, getting them to interact with you. And people love to play games. So we talk chatbots, Facebook ads manager, we walk through that. Instagram, we go into how to advertise on Instagram, or market with Instagram. And we don't do paid advertising on Instagram. So this is organic marketing there. Talk about how to work one-on-one with customers to provide coaching, any of those things, coaching, consulting, and establishing authority, how you can establish authority in your niche, find public speaking opportunities, and so on. So it's basically like business starter in a box. And especially if you're looking at how to market. So it kind of covers all of those things. So just until tonight, we're selling it for $57. And you also get 2 months of the Tangent Research Suite, which is crazy. And I forgot about that. You just told me, oh, by the way, everyone gets 2 months of Tangent. I was like, okay, cool, great. Everyone gets to play with Tangent. And also you get in the Curate group as well. So loads of goodies there. Yeah,
and so this course is a little unique because we included worksheets that you can fill out on the website.
Am I sharing the wrong thing here? I am.
They print out. Oh, you are.
I'm sharing the wrong screen. Let me share the right screen.
All that talk and you're sharing the wrong
No, you know what I was doing? I was sharing my whole screen so I could see the chat. And
everything. Everyone can
people
see
could
themselves.
still see us, but they can see themselves as well.
I get it. Okay.
There's no, there we go. Okay, so now you can see it. So yeah, there it is. That's all of the crazy things that we are doing there. So cool. Now we can start talking about all the Tangent Show stuff. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of things to get through today. Okay, let's start with, and this is huge, guys. If you are niche hunting, Autumn just told me about this. This is amazing. Do you know what this is? This is the Tumblr Fandom Year in Review for 2019.
Ooh,
and guys, this is like niche central. Like this is like the nerdiest stuff of the year. But actually it's amazing because if your demographic is, I don't know, what's the Tumblr demographic? I'd say maybe like 15 to 30 kind of.
Definitely youngers. They definitely get the younger crowd that Facebook doesn't get. Yeah.
So, okay. So if you're making products for the younger crowd, people who like to buy shirts, books, journals, all of those kind of things, check out the year in review on Tumblr, because look at this. They have just a bunch of lists, posts, all the best posts of this year, and they divide them into categories. So you have things like spoilers, the top 100 ships. So this was the one that our daughters were squealing over. Guess who the top?
Wait, you got to explain what ship is.
Oh, okay. So shipping is when you put two characters together. So like Harry Potter and Hermione.
Because when I saw that, I was thinking boats.
No.
Top 100 boats. Okay, Tumblr, right?
Right. And you can go on a cruise. Yeah. Like, take your cruise journal with you.
No, that's not it.
No. So shipping is all about finding two characters. Like, or maybe they don't have to be characters. They could be celebrities. They could be people from books. They could be, I don't know, politicians, but usually not. That would be horrible. And you put them together, and they're like the couple. They're who you think should be a couple.
Wow.
Yeah. So like Dumbledore and Snape.
Okay.
It could happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, the number one. I think the number one is weirder than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's Aziraphale and Crowley from Good Omens.
Of course.
So that's the couple that everyone would like to see.
Yes.
But yeah, I see. I'm not very good on fandom because I never watch TV. So
we did watch Good Omen.
We did watch Good Omens.
David Tennant.
Yeah. Oh, Draco and Harry. That's a popular one from Harry Potter.
Okay, Draco and Harry. Wow.
Yeah, I did read Harry Potter. Oh, Steve Harrington and Billy Hargrove from Stranger Things. Wait, he's like the bully guy. Who's Steve Harrington?
Oh, how funny! He's the guy with the hair.
The guy with the hair.
The ice cream guy.
Oh, that guy.
Steve.
Oh, Stephen Billy.
Oh my gosh.
Well, this is Tumblr. This is what they do.
The hive mind have spoken.
Right. So I think there's a lot of cool things in Tumblr. There's a lot of things that aren't. So the problem with Tumblr is a lot of it tends to be copyrighted material. It's hard to play with, hard to make T-shirts, books, because it's someone else's IP. But there's actually a lot of things that aren't. You're just laughing at the puddle. There's things like art styles, so you can see what are the most popular art styles.
Oh, that's interesting.
It puts it into a list. Okay, so pick one. We've got concept art, character design.
Let's see concept art.
Concept art. Okay, let's check it out. So are these all the next Elon Musk's building some concept?
No, it's like fantasy concept art.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. If your eye itches for I do wonder if people are sort of playing this a bit to get the tags in, but it gives you the top. So these are the top 20, or I don't know, top 30 art styles.
I want to see graffiti.
Oh, okay, we can see graffiti.
Yeah.
Where's graffiti? Right, there it is. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So wow, Burn in Hell Maggie. 2013. That's great. That's kind of a British thing. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So there's actually graffiti is like, there's something rude there. So I'm just gonna move it up there. Graffiti is actually a really interesting place to look for if you're sort of creating products, because it gives you a feel of the zeitgeist. Like, what if someone feels strongly enough about something that they want to like spray on a building? That might be a niche. That might be something. And chances are,
when people feel strongly about something, very seldom do they come up with these feelings by themselves. It's usually generated by a community or a movement that seems to, an emerging thought or feeling that seems to be coming up. Then you get one person that takes it to the extreme and goes and express it through graffiti or whatever other methods they can think of.
That's a really good point. So it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
It's like if one person's saying it, then, I always say that with like questions in the group as well. It's like, please ask questions, because if you have a question, the chances are there's like 10 people sitting there who are wondering the same thing and didn't ask. So I think it's a really good indicator. Now, the other thing that I thought was cool that Tumblr have here, and this is sort of stuff you can really use. Oh my gosh, where is it? Let's see. They've got Wow, sorry, I'm still reading this
Oh,
because
yeah.
Autumn just showed me it on the way home, and I was like, wow,
That's really
this is
cool.
great.
Yeah.
They had, let's see, they had like social awareness things, which I thought, oh, there we go, Tumblr and social impact. So these are really good. These are the most, so they call this a list that's ranked by engagement volume. So they're saying there's no value judgment as to the importance of one issue over the other. But in terms of engagement, these are the hot topics on Tumblr. So mental health is the top one. Yes, there's a lot of
see that.
yeah. So mental health, people talking about depression, anxiety, yeah. Then Black culture, feminism, Pride Month, equality, intersectional feminism.
What's that?
I knew you were going to ask that.
I don't. I don't know.
I think intersectional feminism. So I think. Oh my gosh, and I feel like I'm going to get slaughtered if I get this wrong.
Actually.
Okay. So I think regular feminism, people feel like there's too much of a focus on white women's experiences, whereas intersectional feminism kind of looks at the different experiences of lots of different groups and demographics of women collectively, and people who identify as women. That's what I believe is the correct answer. But don't trust me, I'm not a expert.
Climate change, we know that's
climate change, capitalism, racism, and blackout. What's blackout?
What is blackout?
I don't know what blackout is. Maybe I do, but what's I guess it's I don't know, Black Tumblr, Black Girl Magic, Black Women. So maybe putting more Black images on Tumblr is what I imagine. So there you go. These are the top engagement on Tumblr, which I think is kind of useful. There's also LGBT and Tumblr communities. Like, you can just dig into this and find so many niches. So there you go. It's at fandom.tumblr.com. And you can find the year in review. I'll put a link in the in the YouTube.
Okay. No, I was gonna say, going back to this one, it was funny. One of the requests we had was for the makeup. We did one of our designs for Lowvember was makeup, and we had a picture of a girl's face. A couple people emailed us asking us if we could do
a male version.
And yeah,
the same with the fashion one as well. Actually, I think we need to do that.
You know, and that is a very reasonable thing to request, especially in 2019.
Absolutely. You know, like I went to Ulta yesterday, and they actually in the window of Ulta they had a picture of two gentlemen holding hands, and that's all of the Ulta pictures.
So I thought about getting our dot grid paper and just putting little dots on the face, just put little stubble and be like, there you go, it's a dude now.
No,
it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
I was just saying.
I think we need to create a real gentleman,
a real person.
So there you go, more work for you. You can do that.
More work.
Cool. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have to talk about? Oh, this is an interesting one. So Google, this is such a long shot. So, you know, Genius that put song lyrics, like when you Google song lyrics, you tend to get Genius. Well, Genius are mad at Google because they're saying that Google have taken all the song lyrics that they've made and they've put them on Google. So people aren't going to the Genius site anymore. So they're not getting the adverts and blah, blah, blah. Now, what's kind of interesting, there's a few things that are interesting here. The one that made me laugh is they used the old, like, someone's copying my homework trick. So they said they used watermarking by using a mixture of curved and slashed apostrophes. And they realized that Google had used the same patterns of apostrophes and speech marks, which I thought was hilarious. It's like putting a deliberate mistake in to see if people...
Yeah, I've heard that with Google. I heard one of the issues with Google is that they've gotten so good at extracting content from a website. If you look for something, they will show you a segment from that website that answers your question.
Right.
And you never have to click on the website.
Yeah, so they're kind of like screwing over the people who have the websites with all their ads on, like devaluing their website. The other thing that's really fascinates me about this, because something that I'm very interested in is what you can copyright and what you can't copyright. Well, and I guess this kind of fits with this. But basically song lyrics are copyrighted to whoever wrote the song lyrics. So Genius does not own the song lyrics. They cannot claim copyright over the song lyrics because they just transcribe them. and adding apostrophes or quotes or whatever isn't really enough to add copyright. So they don't really have any claim over copyright.
Well, I would say that some of the artists do not officially give out lyrics. So the genius people have to extract it.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work that way.
If they transcribe the lyrics.
But they're not accurate, is what I'm saying. So they can say that the inaccuracy of the lyrics is their...
Doesn't work like that.
I don't know.
It doesn't work like that. If they copy the lyrics, no, because you to have something be copyrighted, it has to have significant changes.
Okay.
So what they've done, basically, they transcribed someone else's lyrics. Now Google are like, well, they're not even your lyrics, so there's nothing you can really do about us copying them and using them because they're copyrighted to someone else.
So that's it.
However, Genius are trying to say that they stop people from doing that with their terms of service. So what's really interesting here is that they used licensing. They put in terms of service and said that you can't use our website to do this. Now, the other interesting thing is that data scraping is kind of, and scraping is basically going and pulling content from a website. Now, there have been some lawsuits recently that have found that data scraping probably isn't illegal. It's kind of a backdoor way of accessing websites. And there have been some lawsuits that have actually found that the data scrapers have been okay and they've got away with it. So the next question is whether it's in their licensing and how solid their licensing is, and whether Google can actually get sued because they've broken their licensing. So they're asking for $50 million from Google and another company called Lyric Find that actually were the middleman in all of this. And I'm fascinated to see how it goes. From what this article says and from what I've heard, it sounds like Genius probably don't have a good case because the content wasn't theirs to start with, and terms of service aren't always legally binding, and probably not to the tune of 50 million. But it will be really, really interesting to see how that sort of pans out. I'm kind of fascinated to see.
That is right. So, speaking of Google, their parent company Alphabet, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, is it? Yeah. They have, I think they are retiring or stepping down.
I thought are they still in Google? I thought
well, no, they're running the parent company Alphabet, and so they've been doing some kind of crazy like other techie type projects with Alphabet, and I think one of them was like self-driving cars in Arizona.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and so but they said the CEO of Google, which is the heart of everything, is now going to be the CEO of Alphabet.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. It'll be
So it's definitely, it's like a new era.
A new era,
like the final
Google.
nail on the coffin for the new era that's been emerging.
Oh, I have something kind of nerdy. Let me get my nerdy thing because I thought this was cool. I'm doing Nerd Corner, Isaac. I've got a Nerd Corner. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Let me get to the right page. I can't even work Zoom, so I don't know if I should be doing Nerd Corner. Oh, here we go. If I can,
you can find your page.
If I can find my page. Oh, I don't know if it's even
You're
working.
You're like a failed nerd.
Oh my gosh, did you just call me a failed nerd? There you go. No, look at that. That's nerdy, right there. You don't even know what you're looking at there. This is so nerdy. This is like, what? Actually, it took me forever to try and figure out what this is about.
All right. Explain to all of us, what are we looking at?
Okay, what are we looking at here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to pretend like I understand it. Okay, so what we're looking at here is some data provided by the University of Texas. And this is tracking stuff in space that almost crashes into each other. No, this is good.
Whoa.
This is good. This is stuff in space. Yeah. So this is, whoops, I just dropped my phone.
That had near collision.
Okay, so right, but this is like the last 20 minutes. In the last 20 minutes, like these really long ones, they signify like a really near miss. But here's the cool thing. So the green ones are satellites. So when you see a green blob, that's like that's two satellites that you can maneuver. So they tend to not crash into each other because they can be maneuvered out of the way. Yeah, right. So they tend to not crash. Now the yellow ones are when you have one piece of space debris, which is just stuff floating, and you have one thing that's maneuverable. So maneuverable things are like satellites. You can
Sure.
steer a satellite out of the way. So the yellow ones are when there's one steerable and one debris option. And then the red ones are just like 2 bits of space junk go boom into each other, just floating aimlessly.
Wow.
So this is like super nerdy, but it got me thinking. And this is why I'm sharing it, because I feel like graphs, and if you've taken our magic formulas course, one thing I talk about in there is product alchemy. And I talk about things like taking maps or taking charts and turning them into products like jewelry. Like you've seen those like map necklaces.
Yes.
So like if you meet your significant other in a certain place, you could have it made into a map, or you could have like a, I don't know, sort of different types of graphs, maps like street maps or sort of topographical, is that the word, topological maps. So you can have those kind of things. And I thought something like this would be awesome for creating some kind of poster or, and I don't know the copyright sort of, so you'd have to check with the University of Texas what they mind you doing with their graph. As I understand it, data is not copyrightable, so you can probably use the data. You may have to create your own graph from the data, but they actually, like, they give you all the code and everything. So they give you all the data. But I thought it'd be really cool if you like found the data for, like, let's say when we met, if we found the date that we met, we can make like a graph of what was crashing into each other or almost crashing into each other.
Oh my God.
Or you could do it for like someone's divorce, right? If you had like a divorce, you could be like, oh, I left you just as this space junk left that space junk.
So this kind of reminds me of a little story with Neil deGrasse and James Cameron.
Okay.
Yeah. So James Cameron,
the Titanic
guy,
the
Titanic guy, right? Well, he was working on remastering the Titanic, I guess, the movie, and Neil deGrasse goes, "Yeah, your constellations are off."
Oh.
And James Cameron, who's like a perfectionist, was like, "Listen, hear you." So he had to go do his research to figure out what positions the stars are, and he had to make some edits to the movie so that when they show the night sky, the constellation is accurate.
Wow.
Based during that time period.
Okay.
So with that said, you can get the alignment, the way the stars are aligned for whatever period you have, like an event, an anniversary or something like that.
Oh, people have done that. Star charts.
Star charts, right.
Yes.
Well, then you can combine this with the amount.
Genius.
Right.
Oh, I like that. Like, this is kind of crazy what they say. Things are crisscrossing each other at very high speeds. Some of these objects are moving 15 times the speed of a bullet. They're traveling really, really fast and coming close to each other. So apparently, like, this is how many kilometers apart they are. So some of these things are like less than a kilometer apart. Like, they're like, whoom.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Wow. Okay, so there we go. I thought that was fun. And I thought it was an interesting rabbit hole in how you can like use data and do kind of cool things with that. Okay. Oh, this is a weird thing. I don't know whether I really had anything to say about this, other than I just keep seeing vintage food everywhere, like gross vintage food. And I feel there's something in this. So I you know, like the what's it called, the Baden-Meinhof thing, when if you hear about something a few times in a short period of time, I don't know, for some reason I just keep finding gross food.
Okay, people are obsessed with gross things. Like, for example, you had the jelly bean challenge.
Oh yeah.
Right, where like one of them tastes like super horrible and disgusting, where you're gonna nearly puke, and the other one tastes okay. So I can imagine having gross retro recipes and having a party out of it, where everyone gets together. You can also do like a Facebook group, Facebook party,
a gross food party.
Right, and they have to cook some like vintage recipe that looks disgusting.
They were like gelatin with hot dogs.
Eat it, and then I don't know. I think the reactions from that would be gold.
Oh yeah. Oh, so oh, that was funny. YouTube was blocking comments. There we go. Okay, there you're back. Yeah. So I don't know.
It would be like the vintage recipe challenge.
Yes, I like. So one thing I love to do when I go to like estate sales is find like I love like old cookbooks and family books and just anything like that that's just old. I love that stuff, especially like the handmade ones. Those are like the best. Wow, Jim says some of those look like the Culinary Arts Institute books I hold. I mean, whoever thought like this was a good idea though? I mean, what is that? That's like carrots and it's all in gelatin. And then there's like
it's
stuff
healthy, right?
not
I
healthy.
don't know.
It's
It looks like
gross.
there's vegetables in
Oh,
there.
and these hot dog ones. Oh my gosh, they're like the worst.
Let me see the hot dog ones.
Let's have a look at this. There you go.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, like no.
Is that ketchup on top?
Oh my gosh. There's Crown Roaster Frankfurters. No, thank you. I would not be eating that.
They do seem like they were a bit more creative with their cooking than they are today.
Yeah, I think
like visually they look pretty creative.
You know my like the bone I have to pick with recipes. It's always like those like the magazines you get at the checkout in the grocery store, and you open it up and it's like recipe for casserole, 1 tin of cream of mushroom soup, some chicken, the end. And I'm like, wait, what? I swear all these recipes always involve mushroom soup, which is gross. So yeah, that's why I never make any of those like church casserole recipes. Cool. Do you want to do your nerd corner? You've got your nerd corner.
I do. I was gonna mention it. I guess so.
You just want to brag.
I know. I'm not really sure what to mention.
Wait, I said what have you got for nerd corner? And you're like, oh. Okay, guys. I gotta tell you, I've been hearing about this all week. And then Sid, right? Yeah. Sid messaged me. No, I was sitting by Sid, and you messaged him and went, "It's arrived." And I said to Sid, "Oh, it's arrived." And Sid goes, "Yeah, so I was telling my friends on the nut-free table, I was sitting with my friends and I told them all about it." And he said the nut-free table is the cool table. That's for all the cool kids.
Right. But so, they can't eat nuts.
Well, he can eat nuts, but he just doesn't eat nuts. So, and he likes the kids that sit on the nut-free table. So he's like, I was telling my friends on the nut-free table all about it.
Okay, so I took advantage of all the deals. And,
the Black Friday.
Yes. And I bought myself for my very first gaming desktop PC.
Whoa!
So I'm pretty excited about this.
Is this your first ever gaming PC?
It really is. I know, it's kind of funny. I know, the nerd corner, right? Anyways, since I was in high school, I've been using Apple products. And then when I went to college, everyone used Macs at the time. If you're going to do graphic design like 10, 20 years ago, Mac was the system to use. And so I've just been a Mac person. We bought our laptops in 2000 and was it?
It was last year.
Last year, 2000. Yes, we bought brand new MacBook Pros laptops, and I got to tell you, it is the worst laptop I've ever owned.
Wow.
For a lot of different reasons. Yeah, I don't like the keyboard setup. I accidentally it's clunky. It overheats. It's got a very fast processor, but it's pointless if it overheats because then you're stuck with it having to wait 30 minutes for it to slow down. And I'm not a big fan of the little touch thing. But anyways. So I was looking into a new computer and I said, Apple's just way too expensive. You've already taken so much of my money. So I decided to go the PC route. And that's where I did a whole lot of research on what computer to get. And I ended up getting a gamer master gaming PC. The big thing is the video card.
Okay.
So if you want a good gaming PC, do some research on the video card because that'll make and break what type of games you can play. So this one, I'm happy. I got an R2X 2060. I know I'm going to get in a nerd corner really bad. People ask me, okay, what should I do if I'm getting a new computer? If you just
can we just reenact that? Hey, Isaac, what should I get if I'm getting a new computer? No, I'm being helpful.
Right. Okay. If you just want to use Photoshop and Illustrator and you want to make KDP books, you can get fine with a $600 laptop. In fact, I bought a $100 Chromebook. And I found out that I can do a lot of KDP books.
That's pretty cool, actually.
A Chromebook with tangent templates.
I know, it works great. It's pretty awesome. You guys, you can make books on Amazon with a $100 computer.
Yes, so I plugged a mouse because it does help if you have a mouse. And I was playing around with the interior designer and I was able to create a few custom interiors with the Chromebook. Okay. Which at that point I could bring in Tangent Builder and make my whole book, 100, 200, 300 page book that I want. So I'm really happy on a $100 Chromebook.
Beverly says, good for you. I feel you, Beverly. I've been hearing about this for a week and now I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I can go on forever. I'll just
don't go on forever.
I'll just wait and see if people have any specific
I had to drive on my own to get the children today. It was that bad, like normally we go together and pick up the kids because we're codependent, but
that's it. So I'm excited about it.
My problem when I have to drive the car after you've been driving the car, you always put Soul Cycle on. So
it's a
like,
good station.
It's like just Beyonce and like I'm a survivor.
Whoa. You dissing on the Queen?
No, I'm just saying
the goddess. You're dissing on Beyonce.
I'm just saying you go, girl. Anyway, Nerd Corner and Soul Cycle. Yes, actually, the Soul Cycle channel is genius.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a Sirius radio station. And they just played the music. So I guess Soul Cycle is like an exercise thing that you go and you like ride a exercise bike and get yelled at by the instructor. And they play like Destiny's Child and Beyonce and Christina Aguilera, that kind of thing. So they play all the same music on Sirius Radio. And they have like instructors going, hey girl, it's Jill, the top instructor from Soul Cycle. Yeah. And it's like peppy. It's kind of brilliant because I was listening to it and I was like, wow, I think I'm ready to go do a Soul Cycle session now.
It's really hard for us on the radio. We're always like, when we're in the car trying to decide what station to listen to.
Does anyone else fight over the state?
I know. I like a lot of the hipster alternative music. Sometimes.
No, you don't. You just listen to like Nirvana and grunge.
Well, I do listen to grunge stuff, right? But like the alt stations. You're like, this is boring hipster music. This music is putting me asleep. Like, I know how much you love Imagine Dragons.
Oh yeah, they're all right.
They're okay. Okay.
We're going to see Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes, we are. That's
super cool. That's going to be like the best thing ever.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. Okay. I had one other thing. Oh, I wanted to talk about this like cool article actually, I've got another quick thing. This is more relevant things. So I just found out that I got approved for Ignite. So that's interesting. Ignite. That's what it looks like. It's overwhelmingly exciting. So that's Ignite. You go in here, you upload your PDF and you can sell it, I guess. So Ignite is Amazon's new platform for K-12 education. So it's kind of a rival to Teachers Pay Teachers, I guess.
Very exciting.
And the idea is that you create a printable or a digital file and you can sell it on Amazon. So I guess it kind of takes on Teachers Pay Teachers. There was something else I was going to say, but I've forgotten. It's invite only at the moment. So I just asked about it in the Curate course just before we started the show. A couple of people said they got in. A few people said they're waiting on an invitation. So it'll be interesting to see. It is for K-12. So I know people were sort of like wanting to put like life coaching stuff up there or whatever. Hopefully, maybe that will become a thing. At the moment, it's just really for teaching educational stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
I like the document types they accept.
Yeah,
really interesting.
It's pretty interesting.
From Excel to PowerPoint to Word, PDFs. That's pretty cool.
So there it is. So Ignite, do feel free to talk about it in if you've in our Curate group, we've been talking about it there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. So that's Ignite. Okay, I had another thing that you sent me this article, I don't know, about a week ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved it. I thought this was
a really cool article. Yeah.
It got my brain really ticking. So there's this guy, Paul Graham. And I don't know, do you know much about him?
I know nothing.
Okay.
Someone I follow posted it on Twitter and I read it and I was like, wow.
Cool. Okay. So, so this is called the bus ticket theory of genius. I like anything that's about genius because it's like, okay, this means ideas and cool things. Genius. So his idea is that you have to get obsessed with weird, random things. And he talks about, so he calls it the bus ticket theory because he says there are people who collect bus tickets and they just get really interested in this one really small thing. And so one thing we talk about a lot in our groups is niching. And like the problem is if you're like the first to market on something, you kind of have this like wide open opportunity where you can start creating all kinds of things that are general and popular. Like if you find a new, I don't know, platform for selling mugs, you can pretty much say, I love cats. And if you're the only person on that platform and there's people visiting the platform, you'll probably sell your I love cats mug. However, if there's a lot of competition for I love cats, you have to do like I love Persian cats or I love Siamese cats or whatever it is. You kind of have to start niching.
Moggies.
Moggies. Yeah, I call ours moggies because, well, they are moggies, but you know, moggies. I love my moggy. It's very British. So no, you put me off now with the moggies. Oh, so you need to like niche down. So this guy really, he kind of hits niching from a different angle. He says you have to find an interest and you have to explore that interest. And he talks about like Darwin and says that Darwin just sort of sat and studied different wildlife and he got really obsessive about it, like the different feathers and the sort of different things he saw there. Sorry,
sounds like a nerd to me.
He probably was. You're like nerd pride. But there was a few things I liked. He said, and he said like getting really specific can lead to creativity. Like he says, what rational person would decide that the way to write great novels is to begin by spending several years creating an imaginary elvish language like Tolkien did, or visiting every household in southwestern Britain like Trollope did? No one, including Tolkien and Trollope. So they kind of put themselves on these little journeys, like to create a language or to visit every house in an area. And then they turn those into books. And I always love that thing because it's like, oh my gosh, the guy, Danny Wallace, who did Yes Man.
Yeah.
And he kind of set himself a challenge to just say yes to everything. And there was Dave Gorman, who did Google Wax. And he had a challenge to go and find people whose name, or find people who created websites that had 2 words. Anyway, it's called a Google Wax. Basically, if you have 2 words, and you Google 2 words and it comes to one website, there's only one result for it. That's called a Google Whack. They don't really exist anymore because Google got so big, but in sort of the early 2000s, you could find Google Whacks. Yeah. So he went to like meet all the people that had created websites that had Google Whacks.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And what was fun about them was they were basically intersex, because he'd find 2 very random words, like, I don't know, peacock and sandcastle. And then he'd try and find like one website that was about peacocks and sandcastles. And then he'd go and visit the person who created that website.
Oh,
so I kind of love those like weird challenges and like creative ideas. And I think here's the thing, when someone gets obsessed about something, you want to follow along with it. If someone's really excited and enthusiastic about something.
Oh, enthusiasm is 100% contagious.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're enthusiastic about something, you will find people that want to hear what you have to say.
Right, even if it's for something really small or really kind of like weird or out there or obscure. And it's fun because he talks about how it's kind of a gamble in some ways. Like you can spend all your life like obsessing on snails or something, and maybe it doesn't lead anywhere. Or maybe you create like snail stationery and create little like gift cards with snails on them.
One of my favorite YouTube channels, actually 2 of them, are very, very niche. One of them is about a guy who breeds ants. He's got ant colonies. He's like super obsessed and into it, but the way he tells the story is like so exciting. And then my other favorite guy is the guy who just plays bass.
Oh yeah, and they're really niche.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't play bass, the guy's so like excited about it.
I'm a guitar player, and I love watching the videos so much, and it's so contagious. It's like it makes me want to hate playing guitar and pick up the bass because he's like guitar bad, bass good kind of thing.
Wow.
So it's very contagious.
You're like playing guitar for like 25 years.
Right,
sorry.
No, I need to learn to slap. I must slap the bass.
Davey says slap the bass. Okay. And he says a couple more things that I really liked. He said that the exciting thing about the bus ticket theory is that the recipe for genius might not be natural ability and hard work. It might just be interest. It might just be having like a really insatiable interest in something. So like, can you cultivate that? And he says that it's it can be kind of if you're really ambitious and you work super hard, he's saying maybe what you need to do is just relax a little bit and just do
interesting.
something that fascinates you. And, you know, I have to say, I feel like the more you do things you love, the more ideas you get. Like I find like we love like improv and theater stuff, and I find by doing those things it kind of gives us ideas we can apply to our courses, to our software, to our books. Like I think that's kind of what Lowvember was about. Like we had all these fun ideas, like doing the joke page for Lowvember, like doing the brainstorming jokes. That was kind of like we took our interests and turned it into a book, so it's kind of a fun one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the bus ticket theory. The other thing I wanted to say about this, I think we've got to do the contest next. The other thing I wanted to say about the bus ticket theory is that we were talking about, you know, the power of 10.
Yes.
How you can like scale. So explain the power of 10.
Yes, I believe it was the Imes brothers, I believe. Gosh, it's been a long time since I studied this. They had this idea to kind of change people's perception. And I think it started off as a book or maybe a video. And anyways, what they'll do is they start off in a very microscopic level where they show you like the cells on the human skin. And then they zoom out by the power of 10. And so I believe it's using the metric system. So it like goes out, zooms out evenly. And so eventually you see that the bunch of cells is someone's arm, and then it zooms out. You see it's a person. You see the person's with his girlfriend sitting on a blanket in the middle of a park. It zooms out. You see that the park is in the middle of New York. It zooms out. You see that they're in the United States. You zoom out. You see the planet Earth, and it just keeps going out into outer
until
space.
You're in space.
And you see like the Milky Way galaxy or something crazy like that.
So what I like about that is that there's like this middle ground. Like we're kind of in the middle. Like you can zoom outwards from where we're sitting. Like you can look at our house. You can look at our town, our city, our country, our planet, etc. And that's like zooming out. And you can also zoom in. And I feel like what this guy is doing. So like often when you're trying to brainstorm, you're trying to come up with ideas, you think outwardly. You think, okay, well, I don't know, I'm looking at like knitting, and that also leads me to like crafts, and there's all these other crafts, and you kind of go upwards. What if you kind of go inwards and you go deeper and deeper? Like you take knitting, then maybe you look at like the different stitches of knitting, and then you look at the different like people who knit and the different styles of knitting, and or particular yarn, and you just keep getting more and more detailed. And the weird thing is, it's like when you really niche down and you get really into a niche. Like I was the other day, I was cleaning up and I found, so I used to train as a doula and a childbirth educator, and I found some of my old papers from my doula training, and it was really interesting because they were pretty much printables and books, like low content stuff, a lot of charts to fill out with like labor progress and the state of the baby and all of these things. And I'm like, wow, see, people are like, oh, I'm making a pregnancy planner, for example. But it's like you can take a pregnancy planner and then you can like niche like way down. You can make a planner for doulas. You can go into very specific areas of that. And I think what's interesting to me is like the deeper you go with a niche, the more niches you find within it. And they can be very powerful niches as well. So there we go. I thought that was
really cool.
It got me thinking a lot. And I love that idea of just cultivating interests. Like, I mean, my granny always said, like, no learning is ever lost. Everything you learn, you can use or apply to something. So, yeah, I think that's
Be curious, stay interested.
Be curious. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, be curious about everything. Like, if you hear any word or any news story that you're like, that sounds interesting, follow it up, like, learn it. It's
you never know where things are going to take you. Absolutely.
Cool. Okay, I think we are done with all of the stuff. Okay, so that brings us to the contest.
Midnight.
Oh, we're going to bring midnight in. So, okay. So guys, as we said, let's let me just do a quick explanation of what we're doing. So we had our Lowvember challenge throughout November, and everyone was making books based off the Tangent template interiors for November. We did 30 Lowvember templates. And what a lot of you did was post the books that you had made and put on Amazon using those templates. I think there was well over like there was 200-300 books. There was a lot of other comments as well. I think the thread was about 500-600 comments, but the books, there was about 200 to 300 books, and they're all in here. We printed out the thread. The kids cut them up. And we're going to pick a random winner. The winner is going to get all of our courses, Curate, Cultivate, Create, T-shirt Revolutionaries, everything. They're also going to get a $100 Amazon gift card. Ooh. It's well over $500 worth of stuff that we are giving away. We've also Cultivate course, as I say, you still have a chance to grab it. So if you're not a winner today, you still have a chance to grab Cultivate today for $57, which is crazy cheap for a 20-hour course on marketing. So yeah, I think we are ready to draw a winner. Okay, here is Midnight. Midnight, that's exact. Okay, there's a problem with that. I didn't think this through very well.
Wow. So Midnight.
Well, Midnight, stand up. Put your arms up.
She is.
This is awesome. She's like a ghost.
A Zelda tunic.
Wow.
And if you know anything about Zelda, she is
green screen magic.
We have a green screen behind us, so she is transparent.
Wow.
She is ascended into the ether. She's in the ethereal realm.
I love this. This worked out better than I thought. There are no mistakes, just opportunities.
Wow.
So, hi, Midnight.
Hello.
So, you dressed... Everyone's laughing at Midnight disappearing. That's amazing. So, Midnight, would you like to pick a winner for our contest?
Oh, she's got to hide her face and then reveal it when she's ready to...
You know,
it's very dramatic. We need this for this. Yes.
This is going horribly wrong.
Can you see your hand?
Oh my gosh. Okay, here's all the contest results in a big mug. It's wow. Go for it, Midnight. Pick out one. Dig in. Pick just one.
Pick out one. Pick out.
Here we go.
Anyone you want. Go deeper.
It's going really well.
Okay. Reveal it. Here we go.
Okay, pick it up, man. Let's read it.
It's like the Wizard of Oz.
Ariana Marshall.
Ariana Marshall! Yay! You have won the everything bundle. You have won a $100 gift card. You are just like rocking it. Ariana, yeah. I think she has some of the courses. But yes. Ariana, if you have some of the courses and you'd like to we'll talk about it.
Yes.
Send me a message. Send me a message, Ariana. You have won everything, the everything bundle. You have Tangent, you have Curate, Create, Cultivate, everything, and a $100 Amazon gift card. Midnight, thank you.
Wait, Midnight, be gone.
Oh wait, you can disappear.
Midnight, be gone.
Yay! That's awesome. Oh my god.
Nicely done.
Thanks, Mid. Wow. You know, Autumn was so mad at her. She said she didn't cut out. So these were all the people that entered. See how many entries there are? So many entries. So many entries. So wow, well done, Ariana. Yeah, Autumn, you just turned us off. Where are we? Did you just close the thing? No,
I did not turn us off.
You didn't close. Okay, hold on. Where are we? There we are.
We're there.
Okay, I think you just shared our screen.
Oh, did I? That's
yeah.
awesome.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the Tangent Show. It was a big one. We talked about Tumblr, the year in review. We talked about the bus ticket collector review thing. We talked about Isaac bragged about his gaming PC.
Yes, and everyone was so interested.
They really were.
Yeah.
People were like, "Yeah, good for you, Isaac."
Yeah.
Which was I agree. And I don't know. Did we have anything else? Oh, I had something else good, but I'll save it for next week.
All right, next week.
Okay, guys, have an awesome week. We love you. Thanks for everything. Do remember the Cultivate deal ends at midnight tonight. Midnight. And that was midnight, but not that midnight. A different midnight. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.